Do intentions matter, especially now as we're approaching the new year? Is that important that we actually set some goals and intentions? Some of us feel even deflated because how many times we set intentions at the beginning of the year to only fall off the track later. So today we're going to address the importance of intentions from a psychological perspective and also spiritual care in Christian faith. And if you don't know me, I'm Dr. Ioana Popa from Team for the Soul, and I bring the renewal nuggets. So let's dive in. Many times we're setting intentions at the beginning of the year, and then we plan and we have goals, and then we are thinking we're going to just turn our life around. And many times it doesn't work. We get really excited in January, and then little by little we get back into our busy schedule, and things just fall off the rail, so to speak, and we find ourselves defeated with a sense of, oh, I can never set goals. So we're going to address this in the next few videos. And the first place to start is to think of intentions before we even set goals. What is really truly our intention? And I'll explain why this is important. Imagine going with a car and we're going to say, oh, I'm just driving every day, but there's no direction. Without an intention is like driving a car with no direction, and we're happy by the end of the day. Well, I just drove, but there's no destination. So many times what happens, we go through life, it feels like a treadmill, and we go through the motion, we go to work, we're trying to catch up, and many times we feel behind. And at some point in life, something happens. There's an event or a series of events, or all of a sudden we notice our gray hair or the wrinkles, or there's some ailment, physical health issue. And then all of a sudden we pause and stop and we feel like we're adrift. And we wondered what happened with our life. And many times this is coined as midlife crisis. And initially thought it was a thing, but now we know it's more a myth. And in general, it's thought it doesn't have to happen between 40s and 50s. It's just a place where human beings, us, we have this realization that we're adrift. So setting goals and intentions long term, where do we want to see ourselves in 5 years or 10 years or even 20, or towards our ultimate reality? It makes a lot of sense, because even if we don't know all the steps to get there, at least we have a direction. And imagine just a sphere, or the center of a sphere. We can really go everywhere, 360 degrees without a point to move towards. Even if our path is a little bit wavy, we find ourselves going all over the place. And this is a reality for many people, especially in our very fast pace world. We chase, it could be, oh, I want to have a family, I want to have a relationship, and then the next goal, well, I want to have a house, or I want to have a car, or I want to have this job and that other, and vacations and a particular status. And nonetheless, at some point, the question becomes, but where is our destination? Where are we going? So pausing before the year starts to really think of your intentions and what is it that you want to get out of life? What are your big goals? And in such a way that even if you don't know all the particular steps to get there, at least will orient your life. And there's a very interesting psychological concept around this that has to do with priming our brain. We have this ability, once we are thinking of something that we want to do, that our brain in a subconscious is primed. So it will see all sorts of opportunities naturally towards moving in that direction. And I don't know if you experience this, but I'll give an example, a simple example. Driving, whatever your car color is or model, you probably had that experience after you bought the car, if you have one, that you've noticed very similar cars all the time. Now, we live in New Hampshire, and my husband, Sebastian, he got a blue car. And I never thought of blue cars before. It was not our intention and his intention to get a blue car. It just happened. There were a lot of blue cars in New Hampshire. But nonetheless, after we bought the car, we've noticed lots of blue cars on the road, especially in New Hampshire. There are not that many necessarily in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is filled with gray and black cars. But nonetheless, we were primed by the color. And that is what happens with our brain. So the intentions, setting them, you might not know the steps, but at least your brain is primed to look for opportunities to move towards that goal. And I'll give an example from the Christian faith. In many Christian traditions, and I would say beyond that, but I'll just use this as an example. In Christian tradition, it is well known to be encouraged to read scriptures and also to say prayers. Well, there's something about that that primes our brain, where we constantly think of our ultimate reality, of our existence in God, and we do the prayers. And when we read from the Bible certain aspects that remind us about a way of being, it'll prime our brain, and we will notice more situations that are in alignment with that. And also, it encourages us subconsciously to move in these directions. So with that, I want to encourage us to start thinking of big goals, big dreams, big intentions that you might have for your life, especially as the year is coming to an end. And even if they're big and you don't know exactly what are the intermediary steps, so to speak, that you will take this time to reflect at what is really, really important to you, that will move you forward beyond the day-to-day existence in our three-dimensional world. What is it that really makes your heart sing? What is it that you really want to see yourself doing in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, and so on? And with that, I thank you for all you do, and I say goodbye for now.